Sam, only 10 years old, was wandering the streets of New York all alone. Every day for Sam was a struggle against hunger and danger. One afternoon, while sitting in a corner of the street with a dry piece of bread in his hand, a stray dog with shaggy fur and bright eyes approached him. The dog's eyes seemed to understand exactly what Sam was going through. Sam gave a small smile, broke the bread in half, and handed one half to the dog. He called the dog Lucky, a name that sounded more optimistic than reality, as both of them led a hard life. From that day on, Sam and Lucky became inseparable companions. Lucky was always on alert, protecting Sam from the dangers of the streets, while Sam shared every bit of food and each cold night's sleep under the open sky. Despite their difficult lives, they stayed together, sharing sweet and warm moments with each other. One night, while Sam and Lucky were looking for shelter in a quiet alley, a group of young men approached them. At first, Sam tried to ignore them, but seeing no reaction from him, the group started to taunt him and pushed him to the ground. Sam struggled, but he was too weak to fight back. At that moment, Lucky jumped in to protect Sam. Despite being knocked down and taking a few painful kicks, the dog stood firmly between Sam and the group, growling to keep them away. Finally, seeing Lucky's fierce determination, the young men left. Lucky was injured in his leg and in a lot of pain. Sam held Lucky in his arms, tears streaming down his face, feeling the loyalty and love that Lucky had for him. The two lay together under the night sky, feeling the depth of their friendship without needing any words. One day, while Sam and Lucky were wandering in the park looking for some food, Sam happened to find a thick wallet. Inside, there was money and the identification of an elderly woman. Sam hesitated, as the money in the wallet could help him and Lucky get by for several days. However, looking at Lucky, Sam decided to return the wallet. Lucky seemed to remind him of the loyalty and integrity they both had always upheld. Sam asked around everywhere and finally found the woman. Mrs. Margaret, the owner of the wallet, was moved by Sam's honesty. When she listened to him talk about his life and his loyal friend Lucky, she felt the precious friendship and courage of this young boy. Mrs. Margaret decided to help Sam. She took him home, gave him a good meal, and took care of Lucky. She offered to adopt him, giving him a stable home and the opportunity to go to school. And Lucky, from then on, also had a warm home and no longer had to roam the streets. From that day forward, Sam and Lucky lived in the love and care of Mrs. Margaret. Sam went to school, growing up with big dreams. And Lucky, his loyal dog, stayed by his side, always his most faithful friend. Many years passed, and Sam grew into a kind-hearted young man with a stable job and a cozy home. Lucky, the loyal dog who had stood by him through all of life's ups and downs, had aged, his fur turning silver and his eyes losing their youthful sparkle. Even after so many harsh winters, Lucky remained Sam's most faithful companion. One night, Sam noticed Lucky seemed more tired than usual. The dog lay quietly beside him, his eyes conveying something deeper. Sam bent down, holding Lucky close, his heart filled with worry. Gently, he stroked Lucky's shaggy fur. And in that silent moment under the pale moonlight, Sam sensed that Lucky was saying goodbye. Lucky looked up at Sam one last time, his eyes full of unspoken feelings, love, loyalty, and the sadness of leaving him behind. Sam held Lucky tightly, his tears falling freely. The old dog closed his eyes, resting peacefully in the arms of his dearest friend, and slowly passed away. Sam had lost Lucky, his loyal companion, but the dog had left him a priceless legacy. 4 days Sam remembered Lucky, feeling the deep friendship and unconditional love that could never be replaced. Not long after Lucky's passing, Sam received news that Mrs. Margaret was in poor health. She was old and needed someone to care for her. Without hesitation, Sam took time off work to return to Mrs. Margaret's side. In his heart, coming back felt like a way to fill the void left by Lucky, a piece of the past that held so much love and warmth. When Sam saw Mrs. Margaret again, she greeted him with a gentle, loving smile. She took his hand and told him that he and Lucky had brought her a joy and love she had never known. She handed Sam a special gift, Lucky's old collar, which she had kept all these years. She said, "Lucky wasn't just your companion, he was a symbol of loyalty and unconditional love. Always remember that, my dear." Sam promised he would always live by what Lucky and Mrs. Margaret had taught him: loyalty, love, and courage. Mrs. Margaret passed away peacefully in Sam's arms, knowing she had left him with a legacy of her own. From that day on, Sam dedicated his life to building a shelter for stray dogs and homeless children, just like he and Lucky once were. He named it Lucky's Home, a place of love and safety for lonely souls. Every day, Sam lived as Lucky had taught him, carrying on the compassion and loyalty that his faithful dog had instilled in him. The memory of Lucky never faded. Lucky lived on in Sam's heart, as an everlasting part of him, forever his most faithful friend.